Do you know that when the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, came, they were wearing brims? And Allah Almighty said that they must distinguish themselves. They cut the brims off, and so they had like a kufi, and they wrapped it, and it became a turban. At that time, they did not have the tazween, the tail. It wasn't until one of the battles, when they were fighting those who were acting on behalf of Shaitan, and they attacked them, the angels that came to support them had turbans on with tails, and that's when they started to wear turbans with tails. Don't think we wear these turbans because we think it's cute. This is a protection. This is an honor. This is the honor of the Prophet that we wear on our heads as a protection to remind us of who we are and whose we are and why we're here. We're making a distinction in ourselves and our behavior. That we are sent here to clean up the corruption in our communities and our families. Teach your children that way too. They're looking like everybody else. What is the distinction? Maybe somebody is looking. Most people are not adept enough to be able to feel somebody's heart and say, oh, you must be a Muslim. When we was wearing them plastic bags on our head, we knew we had a jury carol. Or wearing a do-rag, we knew we had some waves or something or whatever. But no one knows what's a turban. What's that on your head? I like that hat. No, it's a turban. It's not a hat. You can go in a hat shop and get a hat. You can't go get no turban anywhere, and it has this significance. It's meaning. Everybody cannot carry it, and that's why it's not an obligation. Everybody don't want to stand up and stand right for their Lord. They want to hide. But it's a protection. This is why the women wear the hijab and the men wear the turbans. They're saying, I'm distinguishing myself from my evil self, and I'm standing up for my Lord. And I'm in this community to establish the kingdom of heaven on earth, because that's what all the prophets wore. We can act silly all we want to, but when the wrath comes, we start begging Allah for mercy. Allah says, well, the mercy was there. The angels didn't recognize who you were. The angels are on they have no will to decide no or yes. They look for signs of those who are submitting their will to Allah Almighty. They know if there's no brim in the front, this person is probably prostrated. If there's a brim in the front, you cannot pray with a brim on the front of your head. It is about praying. It's about changing now, because things are happening now. And we cannot stop sitting idly by and say it's all in the heart. No, it's outside and it's inside. What's the value of a clock? It has no hands on it, but the inside work. Or it has hands on the outside and the inside don't work. A clock is valuable when the hands are there and also the inside is there, making those hands move around. You know it's a clock and you can tell time by it. You're supposed to see a Muslim and know I can tell time. That's a Muslim. That's a Muslim man. That's a Muslim woman. That's not some jigaboo out in the street trying to get my money or do some harm working for the devil. We got to stand up now. We at war. Stop teaching your children to be weak. Raise them to be righteous. So if they make it to manhood or womanhood, they can carry on the work of their Lord while they're here. That's why we're here. Because of the ignorance, the jails are full of our people. That is an abomination. The graves are full of early deaths of our people. Because their parents were ignorant. They didn't teach their children. Because their parents didn't teach them. It but has to stop here. These youngsters now, we have to take them under our wing and train them. That's our responsibility. When you lose them, Allah is going to hold us accountable. Look like who you say you are. You don't go on no basketball court with a football field out, a football uniform on. say you are, or don't represent at all. It's getting more serious. More serious. Guard your modesty. Guard the modesty of your children. The society is showing no mercy because Shaitan is controlling from east to west, north to south. The angels do not support those who are not on the way of Allah Almighty. But if you have just a faith of a mustard seed, the angels will support you to get stronger. But you must look like what you say you are. And you must do what you say you do. Don't say one thing and act another kind of way. Because the fruit that you bear is the seed that you plant, the fruit bears where you are. If you are doing nothing, your children are going to reflect you. Don't take this lightly, ever again. The value of a clock is the hands on the outside working because the inside motor or the mechanism is working. And so it's a clock. Everybody got a watch on. What if I looked at my watch and it was like 12:30 yesterday? Yeah, and it didn't work. I would throw it away. That's how people who are not on purpose or have no value are discarded. They have no value, they have no protection, and so their lives are miserable because they have no value. In and out of revolving door because they haven't been guided and no discipline. Or in early graves, or they're sick, or they're in poverty. Those are symptoms of bad behavior, rebellion, and ignorance. That is not the way of truth in Allah Almighty. Allah always raised His people up. Always. He raised them among us, coming from nothing. How can people be so strong on something that they cannot see? Then they don't believe what they see. We say we believe in Allah Almighty that we cannot see, and yet we believe in ourselves and don't believe in ourselves. We say we believe in ourselves and we don't. And yet we can see ourselves. We have a ridiculous mentality. And it's jamming us up, and we're training our children to be confused. You have to say, this is the way we're doing it. If you rebel, that's on you. If you accept it, that's on you. Straight up. The guidance is clear. The free will we have is to accept or reject. Not to decide whether I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. No. This will be total chaos. It's chaos now, but it's a chaos that's a training and a testing ground to see who is on true guidance. Because it's coming at everybody. So we're asking Allah Almighty to forgive us here and after. Woman, Allah to forgive. Alhamdulillah bil alamin wa salatu wa salamu ala khairil muslimin Muhammadin nabiyyin wa alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'd. Alhamdulillah bil alamin. We thank Allah Almighty always for every opportunity. And as we respect Allah Almighty, Allah makes everything to respect us. Allah makes everything to respect us, and He makes everything to support us. He makes the angels to support us. He makes the good jinn to support us. And Shaitan has no power over us. Can you imagine not having Shaitan as a means of being able to keep you diverted from the work that Allah Almighty has given you? Because we are paradise people. How can we be paradise people on earth, living like we in hell, thinking like we in hell, acting like we in hell, and getting hellish results? Something's wrong with that picture. We're not listening. It's better to submit our will to the righteous than to be friends with Shaitan. At least we know we're going to reach to Allah Almighty.